Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including Steven Universe, which we'll be getting into right now. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Michelle Anderer.
Hello.
And Justin Cummings.
Yeah,
that was an episode of Steven Universe Reunited, which we're getting into on this podcast.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
Okay,
I'm so glad you went there.
No more of that. This is the
Come
July
together.
Okay. All songs, no more of that. July 6th.
Total eclipse of the heart.
That was earlier in the week. This is except for the song that's sung in the episode. This is the July 6th episode of Steven Universe. This huge pseudo finale that we'll be talking about here. Make sure you've seen this episode and all previous episodes in this Heart of the Crystal Gems week. We've been talking about this all week at the Overly Animated Podcast. Find us at overlyanimated.com. Search for Overly Animated Steven Universe on iTunes to subscribe there, or on YouTube at overlyanimated.com/YouTube to not miss our future Steven Universe podcast. I'm sure we're going to have a ton breaking down this. I want to call it a finale, even though it's probably not the technical season 5 finale, but by all extensive purposes, this arc finale here that we'll be getting into. So spoilers for this and all previous episodes. Michelle, what were your reactions when you saw Reunited?
Oh my god. So much happened in that half hour. Like, it's kind of hard to process it all. Like, I'm glad you have an outline, because that's gonna come in handy. Because, like, oh man, I feel kind of weird, because I feel like so much has been kind of wrapped up. Like, they even dealt with the cluster, and that's been a question mark since season 2, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, and now the diamonds know everything, so it's just a lot. I liked it, like, a lot of high emotions, and still managed to be, again, like, the gayest of the whole week was this episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think I'll have more of, like, an actual take after we talk about it a bit. It's just, like, all kind of a lot right now.
Yeah, it's by far the most that happens in an episode of Steven Universe. Like, by 5 times at least. Yeah,
absolutely.
You mentioned the cluster,
even compared to our other half-hour episodes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Bismuth had a lot happening too, but you mentioned the cluster. I think this is the modern finale of Steven Universe. Like, I think this basically wraps up everything we have on the board.
That's the thing. Like, but it's not even the finale. So what are we gonna do?
So, yeah,
well, Cartoon Network has confirmed season 6. Season 6 is confirmed.
Wait. They have?
They said,
and they posted in a comment there's more to come. Yeah, we've known season 6 and 7 are in production for a while. Like, trust me on that. But we've got more coming, and probably even beyond, like, 6 or 7 or whatever. But this feels like the finale to whatever 2/3 mark this is. Yeah. Justin, what are your reactions?
Thank goodness I actually got to watch the episode.
Okay, yeah, so you're having difficulties, but we got
there.
I was way behind. My internet didn't want to cooperate. I was watching on my Dish Anywhere app, which, if you have Dish Network, don't use the app. That's my suggestion. They're never going to sponsor us, but when I actually got to watch the episode, I was very happy. I thought it was really great. We got a song, and I was wanting, like, a 22-minute Broadway show tune special, because Blue Diamond's voiced by a folk singer, and Yellow Diamond's voiced by a Broadway legend, and I was hoping just the whole thing would be a musical, but nope.
Yeah, I mean, we had a solid 4 minutes of the episode.
I know, but we have Patty.
That's your first reaction. No, how about the giant events that happened, Justin?
Okay, all that was great too, but no, seeing the cluster was great. Just everything. Lapidot, Bismuth, and Peridot was the people I never wanted to see, but I'm so glad they interacted, because, oh my goodness, they were precious. Yeah, just everything about the wedding was so pure. Like, the wedding, I almost forgot happened. Like, we're going to talk about it, I'm sure, but the first, like, big same-sex main character kiss on the lips, like, it happened. Like, it actually happened. And I'm so happy.
Yes. It's the first 8 minutes of the episode, and I don't know, I almost wish it wasn't, it was its own episode. But it's like there's a ton more to talk about. But my favorite part of this is the wedding in the beginning, yeah, and the kiss and the song before it. That's definitely all my favorite part of the episode. And yeah, as Justin mentioned, this is the first same-sex kiss on the lips involving a major character in American children-oriented animation, which is like mostly what we cover, which is why I have to be so specific about it. But this is a big milestone, and tons of shows have been censored about this, and props to Cartoon Network for allowing this through, even though, censoring a bunch of stuff in the past, but still, like, it was incredible. And it was not just like a small thing. It was like several seconds and like passionate. And then they fused. It was probably maybe my favorite scene of the whole show. Like
one thing I didn't like about this episode is I really wish we could solve a big problem using Steven powers that already exist. They keep doing this. So whenever there's like a big thing, we solve it with a new power, like the cluster. We had a new thing introduced. We have the Gen Soul Room plate. Like, it takes away to me a little bit of the impact of them solving the problem, because we're having to wrap our heads around a new problem, like a new.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about it. Like, where does power come from?
Like,
what does
it takes
mean?
away a little bit to me. It's like a Deus Ex Machina kinda, and I'm not I wish they would stop doing that, because this is not the first time. That being said, I really liked what happened, even though I have no clue how to explain it, and I don't know how the show's going to manage to explain it, but I liked it. So, we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, the outcome was good, even if we have questions about.
Well, it was beautifully like animated and stuff. That sequence. This is the Steven calls it the classic psychic ghost type situation.
Connie's just all for it. She's like, "Oh, that makes sense to me."
The diamond psychic realm, wherever they are. I agree with Justin that it'd be nice if they explain things, but this is very much a season finale in the realm of the Korra Book 2 finale. Like, a lot of like bright colors and huge people fighting, and then also like a thing coming in at the end that's kind of unexplained to save the day. Yeah, it's kind of like a classic TV finale in that regard. And I don't think this is like this doesn't feel that too sexy. Like it's fine, because he's just trying to tell them something. Like, he could have just shouted it out in person too.
But he couldn't do that.
Like, he couldn't, because they wouldn't listen.
They wouldn't let him.
Yeah,
I mean, we got.
That was literally the point of that. They won't listen to me out there.
Yes, well, that's why they did that. But like, logically, it's not that hard to be like, oh, we could have just done this in a different way. Like, so if that sequence didn't happen in the episode, so it doesn't feel contrived to me. But yeah, I think then, like, once you get past the wedding, then there's just so many things happening. I mean, you have the diamonds coming. And the cluster, there's two really surprising things that are thrown into this episode. One is the cluster, which has been in play, but not like an active element of the show for a while.
For seasons.
Like years, yeah. And it's seemingly just handled here. And I wouldn't be surprised if we never saw the cluster again after this, even though it just goes back in the bubble. But yeah, the cluster's good. That's weird, because we're paying off something that happens like 3 years ago, 4 years. I don't know. Like the Steven bubbling the cluster. Like, that's a direct sequel to that part. Very interesting. And Lapis coming back, I was shocked. That was incredible.
Yeah. My theory for that, I thought about it a little. I think it's that, like, maybe she saw the ships like coming in space, and she was like, "Oh, I know where they're going," and she's like, "You know what? I'm gonna stick around for that fight."
Yeah, also wouldn't be surprised if she stayed close to the Earth to some extent, much like last time. She almost left and stayed in the moon. But yeah, like the cluster and Lapis thrown in on top of the diamonds are here, and we like resolve the diamond conflict, because that's the main thing. This is presumably, I mean, I'm not buying that yellow and blue are allies now, but like, these are the ultimate villain forces, and now at the end they are to a certain extent sympathetic to Steven, or at least willing to talk. Like, this is the biggest shift in the status quo of Steven Universe in the history of the show by far. And it's like, what's this new era? Anything's possible, because everything has been resolved basically at this point. And like, how do you even speculate about what's going to happen moving forward? They showed us a promo of a little bit of what's to come, which is nice, when they air the next episodes in like November or something. But,
Are you kidding? Next January. Come on.
Oh man.
No, there's probably 2 episodes they'll air this year, but we'll see.
They'll probably air in their entirety at SDCC and not air for the rest of us till like December.
Yeah, that might happen. No, I don't think they'll air them at Comic-Con, but Rebecca will preview some stuff from them probably. So the Diamonds learn, this is the top story. The Diamonds learn that Steven is Pink Diamond, and at the end they're like over like the crystal gems and Steven towering over him, and they're like, it's you, Pink. Like,
yeah.
Literally the same look from Super Watermelon Island, like when the gems are all looking at Steven.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's
that
fair.
Same look.
Parallel.
But
what was your reaction to this, Justin?
It's over, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah.
The War of the Diamonds is over. I mean, I kind of, ever since I found out that Steven was Pink Diamond, my thought on how this entire rest of the show goes has changed. And I find it really, really interesting that it looks like the Diamond War with Yellow and Blue is resolved now, and we still have yet to hear the words White Diamond out of anyone.
That's a good point.
I think that's interesting in that originally, we all kind of thought that the end of the show would be the big climactic battle with White Diamond. There's no reason now for Steven to battle White Diamond. There's no reason anymore. And so I think the whole tone of the show going forward shifts as to how Steven will end up interacting with White. And I think this is the perfect end of an era. Like, this is the end of the rebellion era of the show. We are now at the reconciliation era of fixing all the corrupted gems, fixing the cluster, fixing the moon base, fixing everything, meeting White Diamond, fixing home. We're probably going to get a season on Homeworld now. Like, the entire show has shifted. Steven is no longer the rebel. Steven is now the royalty come home.
Yeah, if you were someone that somehow avoided the podcast leaks, in quotes, what they're called, basically the end of this episode is what we got spoiled. We didn't actually see the scene that happened yet, but it's something. It's in the scene in the promos, and
promos fair is the official promo that aired immediately following safe to talk about now.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. It aired on TV.
There's basically no spoilers at this point, I would say.
So nothing's left spoiled. Okay, cool.
Basically.
Yes.
We didn't technically see the scene in the podcast spoilers, but it's like the exact same scene from the promo. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so like a lot of people's reactions when they saw that. So first of all, that decreased the impact of this finale, obviously. Like we knew this was coming, that the Diamonds would be in a state where they're at least going to talk to Steven. That was the big spoiler. That was what everyone was freaking out about. And it did decrease it, but I think everyone speculated after, I guess like White Diamond is the big villain now that Blue and Yellow are sympathetic to us to a certain extent. White is the big villain. That's what everyone was saying. But I agree with Justin. Why would, if White even exists or is called White Diamond, why would she react any differently than Blue and Yellow to Steven now? I think that she would also be sympathetic to a certain extent to Steven and Pink Diamond, but I'm not convinced that White exists in whatever form that we think she does. I definitely think she's not going to be called White Diamond.
I think White exists, but is a fusion of the three.
Wait, what?
We talked about the fusion. We talked about the fusion thing.
Pink,
Pink, yellow, blue.
Steven's got to get in there. Yeah, it's possible, even though people are skeptical. Why not called White? I think we just would have said it by now. Why hide the name so much?
I think we're hiding the name just because we're not there yet. We're not there. The same way Gravity Falls hid stuff, like the whole Stanford Stanley thing. I'm assuming that's fair now. The same way that all happened, I think that just the little mentions of White Diamond here and there, but without actually saying it, or just to say we're getting there, we promise, just not yet.
Right.
I feel like as soon as the show addresses White Diamond by name, then they have to deal with her as an actual plot point.
I mean,
but until you name it, you don't have to really, have anything to do with it in the show. Like, fans can wonder, but once you name it,
we always thought,
you have to deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think there's also another explanation, which is that White doesn't take the form that we thought that she did, which is why you would also hide it if you're keeping a secret. So that's also on the table. And still, no mention of White Diamond. We went through this entire huge Diamond finale. But yeah, back to this. Michelle, when you saw this ending to this episode, what was your reaction?
I just wanted to see more because it was like so much, and and Justin's right that it does totally shift like the tone of so many things. Like if the diamonds aren't going to be antagonists anymore, like what are we going to do? Are we going to go back to Lars? I mean, how many other things are there to deal with? We get more Jasper, maybe one day. But I mean, I don't feel like, I mean, I still have questions. I don't think people as powerful as the diamonds are just going to do like a complete emotional 180. Like, you know, it's one thing if, you know, they feel that Steven is Pink Diamond and they see him as an equal, but they've treated so many other gems on a different level than themselves. I feel like they're still going to have some issues, and that could be really interesting. Like, I don't think it's going to be, like, a completely smooth road for them, even if they do, like, come on the good side, quote-unquote good side. But it does kind of change everything. And that's, like, both fascinating and kind of, like, I don't know how to feel about, like, what are we going to do, you know? I'm excited, though. But it's also, like, it's weird having a certain perspective of the show for so long and having those things kind of finally get answered with such a slow burn show like this. It's an adjustment too. I guess that's kind of like the state of mind I'm in. I'm like, okay, like I'm adjusting my expectations for the future. But it is really exciting. Like, I'm glad we have new things to wonder about. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't think anyone thought the diamonds were gonna be in a talking point with the diamonds at this
definitely
point in the
not.
show. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And yeah, I'm also not convinced that the diamonds are suddenly gonna be good guys. Like, we're not disbanding the caste system like right now just because.
Yeah, that's gonna take a lot more time. Probably.
I think they might try to like bring Steven to their side and be like, "What do you mean? Like, this is your planet. We can finally continue your work.
Royalty,
like, come on, Pink."
Exactly, like get back in your right mindset. We can go back to
colonizing. Come on.
That's probably the reaction.
And I feel like they're gonna put up with it for a little bit of, because promo you said is fair. Steven's like, well, I don't remember Pink or Rose's memories. They'll like give a little sympathy, but then be like, okay, time to get back to work. Come on, we got to get back to doing our thing.
They'll like humor him, but then they'll be like, okay, like we know you're still kind of a child, and we like, you know, we indulged you, but now
I think almost more excited of like, well, yeah, don't you want to get back? Like, it's your colony. Like, come on, let's do it. Like, we'll help you this time. You know, we'll be more considerate to you, but we have to continue the colony. Like, they might see this as it's a second chance for us not to lose our sister again, or daughter,
I like that.
cousin, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, it's a second chance for us. We can't let Pink slip away again.
Yeah, I'm also wondering if they're gonna try to get rid of Steven and bring back out Pink.
I think they'll accept Steven the way Steven is, but try to take Steven away from the gems. Like,
that's possible, but also, like, if I'm trying to be in their mindset, like, I'm trying to be like, how do I get rid of this annoying human and, like, get our sister back? Like, that's probably possible.
Well, they might think that it's not that, like, Steven isn't Pink Diamond, but that Pink Diamond is going through this weird phase where she looks, like, kind of different.
Yeah, or they might try to convince him to turn back into her. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, like change your form back. Yeah. And he's like, no, I can't. They're like, oh,
Yellow Blue duet with Steven where they're like, change back. And he's like, no.
That'd be a short song.
No, it'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, will Yellow and Blue have different perspectives on the matter eventually? Like, Blue will probably stay sympathetic to Steven longer than Yellow would, although, as we see in the psychic realm, Yellow has a lot of latent feelings that she hides through anger. Yeah. So I think that's in play, too. But the most striking thing about the promo to me was them, Steven, like, being like, oh, here's Centipedal. Like, maybe we can uncorrupt her.
Well, I think that was Steven explaining what happened in the easiest way possible, because Centipedal's the only one that won't attack.
Right. Like, I didn't even think we'd get to that point. Like, I saw the podcast where I'm like, okay, like, they'll be like, oh, it's our sister. And then something would, like, they'd separate again or something. But no, like, Steven's, like, trying to show them, like, the effects of what happened. That's crazy. Okay, more on that when we get to that.
Who said 2 days ago on a podcast, we'll never see Centipedal again. She will stay in the ship forever.
I said that repeatedly. That's
the promo alone has confirmed that
Justin, it didn't happen yet. You can't brag until it happens in an episode. Okay.
No, I can brag as soon as
at our current.
I mean, I think
point,
as soon as we can see it, I think it's fair to brag.
No, Justin, we're gonna take Centipedal out, show her off, show her around, then we're just gonna stick her back in the ship and.
Well, you're already wrong because you said she would never leave the ship.
Okay, she gets 5 minutes of sunlight. Okay, then she's back in the ship.
Hey! You actually, if we want to talk Dylan theories, why was Connie in the?
I know.
If she's not White Diamond.
Exactly. She would have cried if she had Gemini, or even Steven cried. So we got to debunk that right now,
Why is she in the psychic realm?
So first of all, when Connie didn't cry, I didn't get it at first, and I was freaking out because I thought Connie was White Diamond. But no, it's because she's human.
God.
Okay, I didn't get it at first.
Yes.
But
in the psychic realm.
Yeah, but there's two things. On one hand, Connie... That suggests Connie's perfectly normal, that she wasn't affected by Blue's empathy powers. But then, Connie's the only people that are able to be pulled into the Diamond Psychic Realm are Blue and Yellow. They talk to Steven, and Steven, unleashed the aura on them within the Diamond Realm. And Connie. Connie has a conversation with Steven in that realm. Yeah, the rest of the gems, Steven just touches them and implants an idea in their head. He doesn't actually talk to them.
Why wasn't Greg there? He was already outside by this point.
Yeah.
Greg was outside. Where was Greg? Greg wasn't in the psychic realm.
That's another point. Why
Greg didn't have a totem?
That's another point. Why does Connie even have a statue in the first place? And my question, my theory is that this is only diamonds can be in the diamond realm, and Connie goes into the
no,
diamond
she
realm.
does not. No,
well, if we want to say that it's only because Connie fused with Steven, it's only if a gem has had magic on you, why isn't Pumpkin there?
Oh, that's your question. Look. I'm not saying Connie confirmed White Diamond, but I'm saying
Connie confirmed White Diamond.
But I'm saying I do think that scene suggests something's up with Connie.
No, it does not.
Why? Wait, why not? Isn't what we're saying have merit?
No, it doesn't.
Why is Connie there?
Connie's the only one Steven talks to in that realm.
Because he stands next to her and holds her hand. He jumps through everyone and moves on to the next person so quick they can't have a conversation. And the only reason he can't have a conversation with the diamonds is because they're projecting so much energy he can barely hold on to them.
Yeah, that's the less exciting interpretation.
That is the reason.
Why is Greg not have a statue?
Because he's not allowed to fight because he could get hurt.
So only fighters have statues. Where does the radius stop?
I don't know. It's a good question.
But yeah, I think everything in this that happens in the psychic realm is very unclear on what's happening. So
that is also true.
So I feel like what Michelle's saying has merit, but I don't think you can discount the fact that you can't just discount that something might be up with Connie. It is very unclear.
I mean, you're really grasping at straws to try to make Connie. I don't think I'm grasping
at straws. It's very weird to focus so much on that discussion with Connie.
No, it's not because, they have they just had a whole arc together about being able to fight together. And, he's the first one. She's right next to him because she's keeping an eye on his body. It doesn't have to, he can't have that long conversation with everyone. We'd have to have a whole other episode to finally get to the ending.
You need a Connie moment, and we didn't really have one previous to that. So,
did anyone else think that Steven was gonna poof? Because I thought Steven was gonna poof.
No.
I wasn't sure
if he was dead or not. I was
maybe.
Convinced.
Oh, he gets crushed. Before the commercial. Yeah.
I'm he poofed.
Yeah, Lapis and Peridot get poofed. They're gonna be okay. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
They're gonna be fine.
I mean, they weren't
Are
shattered.
Are they gonna reform and finally be in the opening?
I hope they. I hope they have new outfits.
Are they going to reform and look different? That's
everyone else. I think has reformed. Has everyone reformed?
Peridot already had a new look in
because
the dress.
Peridot will reform. Lapis will reform. Bismuth is a thing. Garnet has a new form. Amethyst got her white shirt since the last opening. I think maybe not Pearl, and that's it. Everyone else has a new look.
Yeah, even Bismuth, I feel like her apron thing's a little more colorful this time around.
And she did also get poofed.
Yeah, well, she also had her wedding battle armor.
That's true too. Oh, it looks very good on her. I like that she was talking to Ronaldo, and he also had armor on. I guess they were comparing notes on armor or something.
The wedding reception was so great. So many little things in that wedding reception were just great.
This is the proper.
They're doing it was so good.
Yeah, I called it. I called that Sour Cream was going to DJ.
Oh yeah, he did a good job.
Look, this is the proper use of boardies. You just pan to them in the background. That's all. I don't need anything else. Okay. We're not going to hit on all the boardie appearances, but that also happened. Yeah. We hit on the psychic realm mostly. I think Steven's has this I feel like there's like an Avatar series finale type moment with the auras battling to a certain extent. It's not as pronounced, or I don't know, like a Harry Potter book 4 type thing going on with the auras.
Maybe actually, because like if Blue Diamond has the power to make people cry, maybe what Steven was projecting was the power of love, and they recognize that as Pink Diamond's power.
Can we add that to the trope article? Yeah, that's
the power.
Yeah.
No, I think it was just the pink. I just think the pink aura power.
But why would Blue Diamonds come with an emotion attached if none of the other diamonds do?
Well, Yellow's looked all jagged and like angry. I think it was supposed to be like lightning, but it's like
it's electric.
So like Blue Diamond has the power of sadness, Yellow has the power of anger, Pink has the power of love, and White has the power of
mystery. That's her power. She's really good at being mysterious.
Yes, White is
maybe wisdom.
Okay.
What if it's like wisdom?
Okay. Yeah, that's a whole thing. It's very abstract, so it's hard to talk about too much, I think. But it was great. Yes, I agree. Let's talk the cluster, because the cluster comes back and it comes out in like a pink hand form.
It looked like a muscle.
Yeah, they literally have like an arm wrestle fight. It's so funny to me.
It's space arm wrestling is what this show.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's like okay, that's a fun visual gag to have the handships fight eventually, but no, that kept going throughout the episode.
Yeah.
It's a long time for this gag. But yeah, and the cluster wins the fight, the arm wrestle.
Yeah, they did good.
Yeah, and it takes down the yellow ship, and then the ships the ships to a certain extent destroy Beach City, but not to enough of an extent to satisfy me.
Mostly the temple, I guess.
Yeah, it mostly just, and then Bismuth's like, I can fix that. So.
I can fix the house.
Yeah.
Like, Dad. Oh
yeah.
Like, I can't fix that.
Yeah,
I'm glad Cat Steven is
Cat
okay,
Steven,
though.
yeah, multiple Cat Steven appearances, and
Lions big and small.
Does this mean that the diamonds can't go back? Like, are their ships destroyed?
I think maybe yes. I mean, their ships are pretty big. Maybe they have like escape pods, but like the whole ship, like the hands, probably can't go anywhere.
They have escape pods. That's how Peridot got to Earth.
That's true. So maybe they can like solo it, but
yeah, I think they. Where are their what?
Are there pearls?
Probably on the ship. No, maybe they got poofed, but I hope they're okay.
Pearl, wait here. Yes, my diamond. And then she's just.
Oh no! Why does it feel like I'm being arm wrestled?
Yeah. I don't think they would know what that feels like, but yeah, it's
Yellow Pearl might.
Yeah.
Well, the pearls just pop out next episode. But yeah, maybe the diamond's stuck there to a certain extent. Although you have to imagine the diamonds be able to remake the ships too.
Not all pearls know each other.
Yeah, except we saw that they do in
Monday's
episode. Yeah. So the cluster, and then the cluster goes back in the bubble, and that's it.
Yeah, cluster's okay.
Season 8 finale.
Yeah, I don't know what the point of keeping the cluster in play for this long was, if this is all we're going to do with it.
Because eventually the cluster will actually destroy the Earth, and we're just going to get a Gurren Lagann giant space fight the size of an entire galaxy.
I mean, no, we won't. But this is I don't know. I hope we have more from the cluster, just so that this wasn't the point.
It makes more sense.
Yeah. I'm glad. I do think this is a good call at this point. We've had this hanging plot thread for so long to just resolve it. But I think it was a mistake to leave it hanging in the first place if this was all we're going to do. So I don't know. It's the right move at this point. And also it's like, I think the cluster being directly tied to the diamonds makes sense. We didn't do a ton with it, although it was like an undercurrent of like on the zoo it was mentioned. And so it's kind of been in play for a little bit, but it's always just been a background thing since we bubbled it. But yeah, it was weird seeing them come out and then form the pink cans, and then they just go back at the end. So we'll see. I guess they could be a part of the uncorrupting everything, because they're the ultimate corruption. So and
it was kind of their fault, right? Like it was them shooting the huge crater at Earth that corrupted the gems. I believe that's the canon for it, right? Like how else did they get corrupted? Yeah.
The light is what corrupted everyone. I don't know if that's also what made the cluster.
Yeah. So, I mean, it probably regardless of what made the cluster, the diamonds if the diamonds figure out how to uncrupt Centipedal and all the bubble gems, we could uncrupt the cluster. That would be a big thing if we could uncrupt the cluster. Like, what happens then?
I mean, the cluster's not like the cluster is shattered. Like, that's the real problem, right? Like, those are shards of gems stuck together.
How do they
limbs of people? Yeah, I don't know if you can just because you can like heal something that's corrupted.
I think that's just a larger scale of like Jasper, right? Like,
but it's different parts recombined.
It's different.
There are no
right.
They don't have a whole body.
They combine a bunch of parts. Yeah.
I mean,
diamonds can do anything.
You'd get a smoothed out cluster that's just like a nice, pretty rainbow stone that is becomes like the watcher over the universe. I don't know.
That would be kind of sweet, I guess.
Now that I think about it, I think probably that's going to be part of like another hanging plot thread, like right along with the cluster, has been corrupted gems. And we've been building that
unhanging. It looks like
we've added Jasper to that. We had Centipedal, so I think that the cluster being part of the corrupted gems resolution to a certain extent might make sense. So I guess that's what we could do after this. Yeah, I wonder if we're just going to enter a stage of the show where there's no big bad, like we talked about.
Do you guys remember when we dealt with like corrupted gems every episode and like the shards were a big thing?
Yeah, and they had that whole thing where they told Steven, like, like your mom tried so hard to heal them, but she could never find a way, so we're bubbling them for now, and hopefully like we'll figure it out later. Yeah. So that's been in place since forever. They gotta talk about it.
Yeah, that's like season 1, early season 2 material.
And if a diamond couldn't do it, can 3 diamonds do it?
Like, or 4 diamonds,
or 3 diamonds that fuse into 1 diamond. No, we'll see. But yeah, 4
diamonds because Connie.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Connie. Yeah, what if White's power is that she can like uncrupt anything? Like that's
white light is often associated with purity, so
I think that's in play. Something like that.
It would make sense.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we bring White into the equation here. Okay, other than the cluster, we talked about Lapis being back. That's a surprise. I think we all assumed Lapis was going to be gone for the rest of the season.
No, I kind of saw it coming.
Really?
I did.
Well, I wanted it to happen. I didn't think it would, but I'm glad it did.
Yeah, I'm also very glad it did. Lapis back in our lives, and back in Peridot's life, most importantly.
Yeah, I'm still in over Peridot in that dress. That was so good.
That dress was so cute.
I know, she had a little basket full of dandelions or something. It was really cute.
I looked at my girlfriend, and I'm like, Peridot's in a sundress.
She's in a sundress. It's so good.
Flower girl Peridot, yeah.
Yeah, I did not expect that. I thought Steven or someone would be the flower dot, the flower girl.
Why didn't Lapis comment on Peridot's getup? Yeah, that was
wedding commander. All flowers deployed.
Yeah.
She's like throwing them in people's faces. It was so good.
For you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as we talked about before, another Peridot thing with bonding with Bismuth. That was a big thing in this episode.
Yeah, I did not expect that. It was so good, though.
Yeah, it's the multiple scenes of that. Seems like that's going to be a thing, so we'll see.
Them hanging.
Yeah. We had this whole part of them fighting Blue Diamond. I thought it was interesting that like Blue Diamond is the main focus of this episode. And I guess it makes sense. This is all about like the grief over Pink. So Blue's been big about that. To a certain extent, this is like still the Blue Diamond arc, I feel like.
Remember when Yellow was our main villain? Remember this? Remember back when we were hyped that we saw Yellow's silhouette?
Yes.
And now Yellow's on Earth, and that's not the main part of the episode.
Now they're friends. Yeah, no, but Blue is the main focus here. Steven's trying to talk to Blue, and then her empathy powers are a big part of this, and they seem to like debilitate people.
Yeah, they do. They were like totally disarmed. They couldn't fuse or anything.
Yeah, it seemed like she was using it as a weapon.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. That's interesting because you get the impression before that like it's like a sympathetic element to her that she just can make people feel what she feels, but no, she's like weaponizing it. Like,
but she's also, I think she's using it as a defense because she never really attacks them. She more just like kind of stands her ground and is like, stop fighting because it's pointless, basically.
Yeah, I kind of got the impression Blue is holding back a little bit. I guess.
Yeah,
it's kind of surprising that we are able the crystal gems are able to hold their own against 2 diamonds for part of this episode. I mean, at the end they're getting killed, but like like two of them get poofed. But Blue was less powerful than we'd all kind of thought, I guess, for a while. Maybe because she was holding back.
I think she was holding back for real.
Yeah, but I like in my mind at least before this, like one diamond can just do whatever she wants, like against any 10 crystal gems doesn't matter.
Because you see Yellow Diamond, like when she like sees Steven, she's just like she runs forward. She already like poofs 2 of them. Like she doesn't care, but that's because her personality is completely different than Blue. She handles things differently.
Yeah, I guess so. So Blue's still appearing somewhat sympathetic here, and it's Connie's not affected by the powers. Garnet like confronts Blue. It's like, this is my day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Lapis comes back and drops the barn on her.
R.I.P. Barn and Meat Morps.
You dropped the barn on me.
No.
Rest in pieces.
Yeah, can we salvage the Meat Morps? I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's and
or at least salvage all the campaigning hearts that's still in there.
Definitely, gotta watch the campaigning hearts. Blue tries to use the powers on Lapis, then she's like, "I felt worse."
Yeah,
like,
that was so intense. Such a good line. And Lapis is doing like some serious damage all on her own. Like I know we talked about how like intense her powers are. She's a very strong gem.
Yeah. For a while, Lapis was definitely our most powerful gem on the show, and she chains Blue very similar to season 1 finale. Yeah, that's kind of rough, that parallel. That's her move, I guess, is was she trying to pull her into the ocean too? I don't know, but
just hold her in place so the others could attack her, I think. Yeah, and she does launch all of them in that water ball also, which felt very anime, but in a very good way.
A lot of this is very anime. Yeah. It's good. Okay, before continue to work backwards, the diamonds are there at the during the reception. Steven starts crying, that's how they know. And then they just pass over them because they're here for the cluster. Oh, and Steven tries to connect with it, going to sleep. There's a lot of stuff happening in this episode.
Yeah,
so Greg plays a lullaby, and but then
it works immediately.
Yeah, but then the cluster's popped anyway. So yeah. My favorite boarding moment was Petey like trying to knock Ronaldo away from.
Oh, that was so funny! Like he goes out with his katana and he's like, "I'm gonna protect everyone." And Petey's like, "Don't be stupid. Come here with your family."
Wait. You don't think all the crystal gems are fighting? Why can't Bloodstone join the fight?
Oh my god! I don't think he's trained enough in the ways of sword.
Get out of here, Justin! How dare you with that?
I am Justin, master of cannon.
How dare you? The cluster gives a thumbs up to Steven, and the cluster can that was like a nice moment because you do remember the cluster like trying and talking to Steven. It's a long callback, but it's like, I mean that in like if that was gonna have a big emotional effect, probably should have been more recent, or like reminded of that or two. So like it's not like, oh yeah, the cluster, we like the cluster, it was like that was 3 years ago, but still the thumbs up, that was nice. And then the arm wrestling starts. Okay, back to the wedding.
To the wedding.
Yeah, unless we missed any diamond stuff we want to talk about.
I like that Peridot was throwing cans.
Yeah, back to the soda can.
Diamond, that was her special move. It was very good.
Yeah, well, Peridot can do better than this. She just got launched. That was her most effective thing. Like,
she has her moment where she's talking to Yellow Diamond. She's like, "Hey, remember me?" She's like, "No."
Yeah, and then
and then poofs her. That was tragic. I do think poofing isn't very impactful anymore, I guess, just because we know they come back. But it was still,
not compared to
it was like a scary reminder, though, of what could happen, I guess.
Yeah, still sad because we love Peridot so much.
To me, it's like playing Final Fantasy when one member of your party faints. It's like, whatever, I got a Phoenix down. But if everyone's down, oh no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good comparison, Justin. Okay, wedding. So we talked about the kiss, but before this, we have their vows. And Ruby's vows. We learned that they've been together 5,750 years and 8 months.
Aww, she counted.
I like having a number on this. I feel like we had some number previously.
It's good for the wiki.
Yeah, exactly.
It can be updated.
Add it to the wiki. Yeah. Ruby says, "I want to be me with you. Not even the diamonds can come between us." And then Sapphire's vows. "You opened my eye to infinite possible futures. Now we change our lives." Very, very them, I think. Both.
Yeah, and and then everyone's kind of like, "Wow, that's wonderful," but what does it mean? And then she like offends it. It's like, I love you, and I'm happy to get married.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, and Ruby's wearing a dress. Sapphire's wearing a tux.
Yeah, I love this so much. I'm glad Ruby got to wear a dress.
Why do you love it? Because it's like a reversal of
because she's usually so butch, and I love that about her. But like, she gets a moment to like be a little more feminine, and that's great too. And also Sapphire in her suit, like I never knew I wanted that, but she looks so good. Oh my god! And when she has a ponytail, like both of them were rocking their looks so hard.
Michelle's fashion corner, yeah, it's it was great. I love that move in putting Ruby in the dress, Sapphire in the tux, and they were awesome. And they get the rings from Bismuth, and then we have their kiss, and Steven, I think Steven says pronounce you Garnet, but then they kiss before they fuse, and we hold on that for like at least 5 seconds, and
it's a good smooch.
It's a good smooch, yeah. And then Garnet. And then right to the reception of like Garnet dancing and stuff.
Garnet dancing with yourself was great, and her outfit's very good too.
Yeah, it's good. Connie was at the wedding. Greg was playing at the wedding.
He was playing an acoustic version of The Answer, which was also like magical.
Yeah, we also had Stronger Than You at a few points. As well. Connie's parents were there. Onion, Cat Steven, everyone was there for
Uncle
the wedding.
Andy was there.
Yeah, I guess he was. I didn't see it, but sure.
The Pizza family was there too.
A lot of people. Yeah, well, any towny moments, the boardy moments that we didn't mention. That
Nana Fwa rocking it, like
Nana Fwa.
She got a megaphone. Yeah,
she is a dance machine.
Yeah, Dewey. Do we like Dewey at the wedding?
I love Jamie and Dewey. Yeah, them dancing together was perfect.
Yeah, it's good. And the opening song, of course, it's extremely Broadway musical, extreme show tunes to start this episode.
Yeah, it gave me flashbacks to Mr. Greg for sure.
Yeah, I think even like more so than Mr. Greg stuff. Like this is like straight off of a Broadway show, and
straight off of Broadway.
For just one day, let's only think about parentheses love. This also leaked earlier today, and I listened to it like 10 times.
Spotify again? Oh my god!
So okay. You say Spotify, but I think I figured it out. I think it's Cartoon Network's fault because it was actually. Michelle's like, oh no. It was actually released in Australia. Like, it was officially released there. So I think Cartoon Network just didn't, like, set it to only release on US Saturday. So, like, it got to Australia Saturday and it published. That's my thing. Yeah, so it was like, it was released, not here. But, it's an incredible song. And, Steven's the only one singing, but you have a lot of talking parts from everyone else. And there's a lot of it's like let's think about the wedding, not about this Rose's Pink Diamond stuff. The visual, Steven, we started with Steven like shaving one hair.
One hair, I love that. He like has all his shaving stuff for just one hair.
And continuity nod, that shaving cream kit is the one that Garnet gave him when he was a baby in 3 Gems and a Baby.
Oh, it's gonna be nasty then. Does that stuff get like crumbly?
Look, maybe you just got a new can of the same brand. Like
kept the razor though. Maybe did he get a razor too, Justin? At the beginning.
Well, we'll check that. But these other parts of the song, he's like twirling amethyst. There's Ruby and Sapphire, like they're like hiding from each other, like they don't want to see each other.
For the wedding.
No future vision either. Yeah, that's great. Bismuth in her armor, like that's the most fancy thing I own. Seems like sharp. One of my favorite parts is Amethyst being like, maybe I shouldn't have gotten roses. A little controversial.
Yeah.
That read on that's incredible. Yeah, but then Steven goes to get new flowers, and then Peridot's upset. It's like, what about reminding us about the cluster, I guess, before it's back in play. But yeah, this whole song, I love it so much.
It's really good. And I
think it's like a top song of the show. I think it's up there.
It was so good.
Yeah, Justin, you've ranked the songs. How high does this rank?
Ooh, it's like top 5. Like it's up there.
I think it's top 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's Steven basically singing, let's not think about how bad it is.
Yeah, it's like contextualizing the whole arc with that one song.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get a 22-minute musical episode, but instead we just got basically a Life and Death on Planet Earth or whatever it's called. Peace and Love. That's it.
Peace and Love, yeah.
Like this is this season's version of that, where it's like, we're going to sing until the bad guy shows up.
Yeah.
They don't have to wait long.
It's a good point. It's similar roles in the show, and I love that's one of my favorite songs. And that
was right before Yellow Diamond showed up.
Yeah, exactly.
That was season 2. Oh wow!
Oh, parallel.
It doesn't feel that old.
3.
It doesn't. It's crazy.
But yeah, it
was season 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was season 2. That was the
right.
Peridot
It was
arc.
message received.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's
it was
season
right
2.
before she talked to Yellow Diamond.
That's where the cluster stuff is, right? Like that's
also
Cluster's
cluster stuff.
beginning
That's
of season 3,
2.
like literally the first 2 episodes of season 3. Because it was like Malachite into. You guys remember Malachite was a thing? Wow, this show has come so far.
Wow. Yeah, it has.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it's only like a little over 2 years, not 3 years since the cluster.
But the entire Steven Universe started airing in 2013.
Yeah,
it's almost been 5 years.
But 2013 only had like 8 episodes.
Seems longer. Yeah.
But like we're almost there.
Yeah. Okay. Any other specifics from the episode? I want to talk about like, is it even? We didn't even talk about is it good? So I want to get to that. But
okay.
Specifics.
And there's so much in this episode, man. This is we're gonna need several more podcasts to get into everything here. Although I don't think this is like as conducive to future part podcasts like the reveal was. Like I don't know.
Yeah, like a lot of plot stuff happened, so it's hard to speculate.
I feel like we'll have round tables knowing what we know now, but
about the future.
Like a Pearl episode. Like we've never done a Bismuth roundtable. I think it's
let's do a Bismuth roundtable and Amethyst. Let's go back to all the character episodes and revise them now that so much has happened.
I mean, we have time. The last I saw a rumor that September 7th is the return date. So
there's no return date.
That is the rumor I saw.
No, it's fake news, Justin. Cartoon Network has not scheduled the next episode.
It looked what I saw was like a Cartoon Network insider okay.
Justin, I'm a Cartoon Network insider. It's not. And I'm throwing shade on that.
Okay, Justin, you're referring to an Australian press release. Okay, I know what you're referring to. It's not for the U.S. Okay. So overall, like, there's a lot happening. There's a lot we love, but
we didn't talk about the sword. The sword broke.
The sword got broken. That's kind of a big deal.
It is. It's like when Samurai Jack lost his sword.
Oh my god! I think it matters more. Honestly.
Wow, shade. The Rosa's sword rip.
So we're gonna get a new Rosa's sword or Steven's sword this time.
Connie needs a new sword for sure.
I mean, Bismuth is here.
It needs to be crafted for Stevani.
Yeah, Stevani weapon. That'd be
like balanced.
No Stevani this episode.
Yeah, I was bummed there was no Stevani, but I'm glad Connie had her moment. She got to actually contribute equally as she could, and I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, we do some good Connie stuff. Justin, what's your initial thoughts on how good this episode is?
Really?
Okay.
My thoughts? Really?
Yeah, Michelle,
really
do you second that really?
Yes, because I mean, I feel like content with so many questions I've had for so many years now, and that's like its own kind of relief. And I feel like everything, even though like some things are kind of like, oh, like Steven has a new power again. That's like the only thing that felt kind of like weird. And even that like served a perfectly good function that, strengthened other things. So I feel like very content, but also like, wow, a lot happened. And I'm like glad we got a lot because it's been a while since we've had anything. So yeah, I'm positive on it. I think it's good. It might not be even like my top 20 overall, but I think like it's very satisfying in a finale-esque kind of episode.
Yeah. Yeah, not top 20. That's a hot take.
I don't know if that's a hot take.
We'll see. We'll see what the general reactions are. I think this is not the show's strength, this type of episode. Like,
it's not.
There's like a large part of this episode is a battle sequence. I think this show's better with like quiet emotional moments than fights, although there've been good fights too. Sure. And I think it's better when it's able to focus on one thing rather than having a ton of things happening. So like, I think basically I need time and space to figure out if this is a top 20, top 10 type episode. Probably it is, but my initial take is that there's too much happening here. And it's not like cohesive. Like there's just a ton of stuff thrown in. Like if we could separate the 8 minutes of the wedding, like that's like a top 5 episode for me. But then there's like a lot of other stuff. And, what's, how is that the cluster? And like, is this all thematically tied together? I mean, no, but it's a finale. Like this, it's what it happens. You throw everything in there. And, I don't know. It's a tough one to evaluate. I know I love the beginning, and there's a bunch of parts. The rest of the episode's also great. I love Lapis coming back. The psychic realm stuff, we'll see. At least it looks great. And there's a bunch of other great moments as well. I do love the ending of the episode too, like ending on that moment. So
yeah,
I don't know.
It leaves a lot open.
Maybe the hardest episode of the show to evaluate, I think. But
it's also kind of hard just because like this isn't even the proper season finale, right? So, but it like really has like the feel of one, and why then? What are we gonna? Why would we have this now and not as a season finale?
Yeah, I mean, I think this echoes season 2-3, the 52 that is, which Earthlings wasn't the finale either. It was just the big climactic, and then you had Bubbled, I guess, as which didn't feel as big. Oh,
that's true.
Right?
Yeah, that didn't feel as big. So I'm wondering, like, is the finale of this? And honestly, like, I haven't seen. I don't know, but I'm wondering, like, is it going to have the same kind of like a cool down feel? I guess.
Yeah, I think it's the exact same arc as the end of season 3, which is Earthlings, huge climax, and then Back to the Moon Bubbled as like denouements or whatever. So I think for my best guess, we've never gotten confirmed how many episodes are left. I think there are 2. My best guess is 2 are left, 26 total. But I think
26 should be. Yeah.
Didn't this make it 25 though?
It made it 24.
Is that counting Reunited as 1 or 2 episodes?
As one, it is technically 1.
No, it's counting it as 2. It's counting as 2. No, it's always like 26, 11 minutes. So
yeah,
that's the way to look at it. We still think there's 2 episodes left. Anyway, it's probably just dealing with like the type of stuff we saw in the promo, and it won't be as climactic as this. It's a weird structure to do it. I wonder why they do it like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I think probably production, like season designations don't even matter as much. They already Cartoon Network breaks a production season of 52 into 226s already. It's like, well, we're already playing with it anyway. And who knows? We might go right into season 6. I don't know if they have them ready yet, but that's depending on how long we wait. That could be in play. So yeah, we're very excited for whenever this comes back. Maybe we'll get more information at Comic-Con. Hope so.
Oh, I'm sure we'll get more information.
Well, we'll get like probably a scene or 2 from the next episode. So
like how we got a scene of Lars with the Stars, which wouldn't air until January.
That's what I'm
really
saying.
Wondering about Lars. Like, I don't know why I care so much about Lars, but I want to see what's happening with him. He's not back yet. What is he up to?
I did say this ties up almost everything on the board. It doesn't tie up Lars. It doesn't tie up Off Colors. It doesn't tie up Sadie's concert and Jasper. Those are the big elements, I think. Jasper and Lars and the Off Colors, and also I think Sadie's concert. We mentioned it hasn't happened.
It's happened.
Yeah, so those I think Jasper's an easy one to bring into the corruption thing coming up, so that makes sense. And then Off Colors, like I don't know, does being like made badly like from birth, whatever the off color is, like does that play into corruption? Like they're not corrupted, but they're different. How are the diamonds going to see them if they come down?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the diamonds feeling about them is going to be like an interesting thing too. Like, is there like a perfect kind of gem, and are they going to be willing to try to like broaden their perspective on that?
Yeah. I mean, basically this all comes down to, can we convince the diamonds that it doesn't work like you have a gem and it's for its purpose and it has to be perfect. Exactly. Like it all ties together. Like, off colors, corruption, free will, fusion with a different type, like those are all basically the same thing as like stop having this narrow worldview and like open up to letting people do what they want, and everyone's different, and all the themes of the show. So I don't think they're gonna be so easily convinced of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Oh, and also, if we're getting into new phases of the show, my number one item for years has been, how did the diamonds get created in the first place? So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we're actually going to get into that, but that's like top of my wish list. Like I've said for years, it's the humans made them, so we'll see.
If Pink canonically is the youngest, then I'm guessing maybe, I don't know how White Diamond could have been made, but if she's the oldest, then she might have made everyone else.
Like, that's right. Yeah. That's in play because they made Pink. So did White?
Yeah, they made her.
And if so, who made White? So
yeah.
Okay, that's that. I'd love to get into that. I'm skeptical because we still have stuff on the board to get to.
That can be our first round table discussion.
Oh, we've talked about this before. We've had the Alternative Theory podcast. I don't think much has changed in the 3-4 years since then. We've just we'll see. Okay, but it's very exciting. A new era of Steven Universe. I pronounce this the end of the modern Steven Universe era with this episode. We'll see if that holds up after when we come back. But
yeah,
at least that's what it feels like for now. So yeah, very, very exciting. Let us know what you thought of this episode in YouTube comments, overlyanimated.com. Excited to hear from you. Start sending in feedback. I'm sure we'll have some sort of feedback podcast. Send that to podcast@overlyanimated.com. Michelle, closing thoughts on Reunited.
I want to see Centipede like immediately. I wanted to be okay.
Yeah.
Yay!
Okay.
Oh my god.
That's top of mind apparently. Justin, final thoughts.
Reunited and it feels
so
That's what you
more.
get, Dylan. That's what you
I
get.
said no
His
more.
final thoughts.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have went to Justin there. Okay. Yeah, very, very exciting stuff. Let us know what you thought. I don't know. Well, need some time to process everything that happened. It's crazy. So yeah, a ton of messages on our Discord. Come talk with us there. overlyanimated.com/Discord. Very, very exciting stuff to get into. Support us via Patreon if you've liked our coverage of this, the Heart of the Crystal Gems this week. I guess that was an okay name for this arc. I don't know why we need to name the arc. Like, it's fine. Just a new week of Steven Universe episodes. But, yeah, it's, if you enjoyed our coverage, consider becoming a patron, patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to all of our current patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Xavier, aka Podcast Addict. And thanks as always to our patron executive producers, John Ryan, Steve, Alex, Andy, and Hugh. I will say, I do love that we focused like this climactic modern era closing arc on Ruby and Sapphire and like their romance. Like that's incredible. Yeah.
It is really cool.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's like this is the biggest queer representation moment in the history of this like animation and American animation and like kids animation and this podcast which we extensively talk about. So and like that was only like 15% of what we discussed. So a lot happening here. We'll have the full Ruby Sapphire arc breakdown. I guess that could be a roundtable too. So yeah, send in your feedback. Thanks for listening, guys, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.